Hello everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video, and this is my new swatch set called Swatch It from Funky Fossil. So this is like a little bonus release. This all came from a stamp that I carved myself and used it to swatch some Lindy's, and somebody said, wow, that'd make a great stamp. So I spoke to Sarah and it's been done. It's a fabulous little set. So in the set you get an ink bottle, a spray can, a blob of ink, a splat of ink, and a paint tube and a paintbrush, and then a few words as well. And not only are they great for obviously swatching paint colours, they're also great for using in your art journal too. So on this page here in my small Dina Wakley craft journal, I'm going to show you how I have used one of the stamps. So I've grabbed a piece of plain collage tissue paper from Dina Wakley, and using black archival ink, I'm just going to stamp out the spray can a few times. In total, I think there might have been 7. And then once I've stamped them all out onto the collage tissue paper, I've cut them all out and arranged them onto my page. So the reason for the white gesso is because I want the colours to be true that I'm using. I'm going to be using some Art by Marlene paint to paint these in. And I kind of wanted that white background, so just to kind of paint it out and leave that little bit in the middle, it was going to work perfectly. So you can see I'm now cutting these out, and I have stamped them onto collage tissue paper because then I can be sure that I'm going to get a really good image. And you know, sometimes when you stamp directly into your journal, you're not always guaranteed to get a really good impression. Well, I'm not anyway, because I'm not always the best at stamping. So this was a great way to make sure that my image was going to be nice and crisp. And I'm just arranging them around the edge. So the idea with this page is these spray cans are each going to be spraying some beautiful bright rainbow colours out. And that's why I'm kind of trying to do them all at different angles and different heights. Doing that creates that layer of interest as well. And it means that, you know, that your eyes already like it's kind of bouncing around the page going around. Oh, look at these, all different heights and levels and angles. It kind of makes it a little bit more interesting. So they're all stuck in, dried, and I've cut off the excess. So now I'm going to grab my Art by Marlene paints and start to add some colour to these as well. So the first one that I've used is I think it might be Clotted Cream. This is a really pale creamy colour, and I'm adding this at the top and bottom of the spray bottles just to get rid of that kind of white. So you can't really see it brilliantly here on camera, but it does make a subtle difference. And I am painting over the lines, not worrying about that. I can still see them, and I will go back in and add them in over the top once I've finished. So I'm just going to grab my Art by Marlene paint so I can tell you what colours I've used. So this first one is Kissy. It's a really nice pinky red. And then I'm just creating, with the end of the brush, not overloaded with paint, I'm just kind of dabbing in almost like where the spray of paint would go. And then I did give that a dry before I went in with the next colour. So then I've washed my brush, dried off the excess. Then I am using Hot Curry. It's beautiful, rich orange. So Marlene's paints are lovely, and I've only just really started playing with them. But they're not heavy body paints like Dina Wakley's are, but you can layer them to create that kind of heavy body effect. This one is cheesy, and you can see I'm overlapping the paints where the sprays are coming out of the bottles. I'm overlapping those as well, just to create that kind of effect. And this was lots of fun. This was a page that ended up being quite layered, really. And, you know, I didn't really go in with much stenciling on the background because I just wanted to have a play with the stamp set. So this stamp set is available on my website, and you can buy it for pre-order. It will be shipped on the 5th of January. Gosh, that would be a long wait, wouldn't it? 5th of January. Yeah, and there's a stamp set and a die set as well, so that is quite useful for cutting out the shapes. Is less, for people like me that hate cutting out, it's just an absolute godsend. Yeah, so then this blue is sky, and I'm just overlapping these colours. I'm just having a bit of fun really playing with these different brights on my page. The purple is royal. This is also an Art by Marlene brush that I'm using. It's one of the flat ones, and I think it's a size 12. And then the final colour I'm using is Ballet. So you can see we've got that nice pop of bright colours, and we've got the sort of sprayed bits at the top of the page coming out of the spray can. So that was lots of fun to create. Okay, so then I decided I wanted to get rid of some of the white background. So I'm going in with Mineral, which is from Dina Wakley, and just kind of blending it up towards the spray colours. But I'm not painting around them. I'm just using my finger to kind of blend those bits out a little bit. So that just takes that harshness of the white background away, tones it down a little bit. And I think sometimes it's easier to do your pages this way rather than to create your background and then try to work on top of it. Because I knew there was going to be all that colour at the top of the page, I didn't want any of the background. If I'd done the background first, then that would have been competing with the colours that I was going to add. So to keep the background fairly plain and simple works well, because this page is quite busy already. There's already quite a lot going on. So then I'm looking for my Starlight stencil, and here I'm using a little bit of Royal, I think. No, Police mixed in with a little bit of Mineral, and I'm just adding a tiny bit of text stenciling onto the background, just to soften that. I don't want it to be in the foreground, I don't want it to be really, really obvious, so I'm kind of leaving it quite subtle, and you can just see it there really. Okay, so now it's time for a bit of text stamping. This is my Shoot for the Stars text stamp from Funky Fossil. Still got some of these on my website. And I'm using black archival ink and just adding a bit of stamping on there. And then, of course, I'm going in with my dotty stamp and just adding some dots, because, it wouldn't be my page, would it, without those dots on there too. And I just love the effect that that gives. I mean, it's starting to come together. Now, I have grabbed my watercolour pencils. These are from, I think it's Faber-Castell, and I'm just picking a colour that's similar to the colour that the paint is, and I'm just adding a little bit of darkness on either side of the spray can, just to kind of give a little bit more depth to those colours. Okay, once I've done that, I'm then going in with a black gel pen. This isn't a waterproof gel pen, but I knew I wasn't going to be adding any more dearie me, wet mediums on here, so it didn't really matter. And you can see that just pops those spray cans back out of the background because of the paint that I put over the top to take the whiteness away. And I can still see the lines underneath, so I am literally just tracing over the top and just pulling those images back out a little bit. Okay, so then this is one of the text stamps that's in this Swatch It stamp set, and it says Colour Junkie, and I just thought I'm going to have that as my brand of paint. Wouldn't that be a cool name for a brand of paint? Stamping those on my spray cans as well. And then, of course, white splatters. It's got to be done. So the reason for the white splatters is just to break up those colours at the top of the page, really. I liked it, but I kind of felt it was a little bit full on. So adding those white splatters just gives a little bit more difference. And then I'm going in with a few black splatters too. Again, just adding another layer. And then that's all nice and dry before I go in with my text. So this space at the top is absolutely perfect for writing my quote. And there I was just making sure that it was going to fit. Sometimes all you need is a little splash of colour, and that's it. So there are a couple more videos to come sharing ideas using the swatching stamp set. Head to my website if you want to bag yourself one. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.